angles of indiscriminate dumping of waste and unequal evacuation of the same waste, making the state to be dirty. But again, I know that you walk through the streets of Port Harcourt, you walk through the nooks and crannies of Port Harcourt, you can attest to the fact that the difference is so clear and glaring. Even the blind can see, the blind can be forced to see that the state is returning to its garden city status. Garden city status in the sense that we are no longer a garbage city. The garbage that is always dumped every here and there in Port Harcourt is no longer there. But again, you asked me what have we done, what have we put in place to up our game in terms of waste management. But let me tell you quickly, Kalada, when we came on board, when this administration came on board, we inherited what I could describe as an old order. And that old order is creating receptacles in the major streets in Port Harcourt and Obiapo, where people come to dump their waste, and there is a time limit. There's a policy that says that the waste should be dumped within the hours of 6 p.m. in the evening and 10 p.m. in the night. We inherited this, and we think it is good enough. That is the old order. And in the same old order, we have the baggage of ensuring that the waste that is dumped at these receptacles that is created at designated places and the streets of Port Harcourt and Obiapo have evacuated to a government-created dump sites. And this waste, as it were, are used for land reclamation, land filling. Though this is not engineering filling, I must say clearly, but this is the old order. And what did we do as we came? We tried to strengthen the old order because bringing in anything new on board will transform to keeping the state dirty. And I know that the media will not also keep short when they see that everywhere is dirty. So we needed to strengthen the old order and ensure that we get it right before we introduce innovations. As it were, sorry, please.
Yeah.
As it were, we ensure that people bring out their waste within the hours of 6 to 10. Then our service providers evacuate this waste using the compactors down to our dump sites where we use them for land filling. But again, we think that this is not enough because it may not be sustainable. That is why if you were very close to your radio and television, you will have known or noticed that the state is at the verge of going into partnership with some foreign partners who want to transform our waste to wealth. At that point, it is an innovation, and at that point, the state will enshrine and enthrone something that is more sustainable in terms of waste management. They want to transform the waste into pellets, and the pellets will be used to generate power up to 400 megawatts.
Okay.
So this is where we are as it stands.
Now, I understand what you're trying to say, but now you mentioned the old order. I grew up in River State, and I remember that way back then, in the early 90s, late 80s, we used to have dumpsters in front of almost every compound at the time. And then we had moving trucks, just like it's seen in foreign movies. We had moving trucks that would come pick up, then take the waste to particular sites. Because, dumping this refuse on the median or, in receptacles close to houses and living areas, sometimes it's an eyesore. I'm wondering what the River State government is thinking as it relates to the old order. I'm talking about early 90s. Is that something that you are considering?
Okay, Canada.
Yeah.
I agree with you that in the same old order came with the baggage of having some trash cans. Those trash cans either in the form of metals, in the form of aluminium, or in the form of plastic.
Yeah.
Well, you will agree with me that somehow along the line, I don't know where we got it wrong, we have more hooligans in the street. And what do? If you keep plastics, they will steal it. And they will break it, pieces it, go and sell it to plastic companies that are going to recycle it into pallets.
Okay.
If you keep metal, they will steal it. If you keep aluminium, the worst. So at that point, we are almost choked. We are almost choked because for you to keep a plastic, then you must engage a security personnel that must watch over the plastic. So for how many plastics or metals or aluminium can we keep on the street and employ one security guard to watch over them? This is why we cannot follow this route.
Okay.
Because we've tried this several times and it's not working.
So what if Rivers people just bag their waste? Then there is the moving truck. It goes from one street to the other, and it gets the waste from each house, so that people don't litter, River State, so to say.
Yes, I agree with you again. I agree with you, Mr. Kalada. We Rivers people can bag their waste, and then we do door to door. But I want you to also remember the implication of door to door.
Okay.
Door to door means that we have to activate the polluter, the payer, meaning that pay for your waste disposition.
Okay.
If you must dispose your waste, then you will have to pay. Because for us to move from house to house, it means that you have to pay for the waste disposal. But again, that is what we have in mind, which I am to hold a meeting with. We want to start the pilot scheme with estates within Port Harcourt City and Obiapo. We want to activate the door-to-door within the estates. Let them involve what we call private service providers. These private service providers, we do the door-to-door, just like it is done in Lagos State. If we try this pilot scheme and it works, then we begin to go community by community, so that the communities can involve the same private service providers to evacuate the waste door to door, and then bring them to the receptacles. At the receptacle, the state government can still do the uptaking, the evacuation from the receptacle to the dump. But if the state government is to do the door to door, of course, you know the cost implication.
All right.
But secondly, let me come back to the littering of the waste on the media. Actually, the River State government has placed a ban on disposing waste on the media.
Okay. And
of course, you know, we have the enforcement team, which I also know that the media complain about the level of extortion, the level of harassment. And, you know, I sit back, I begin to wonder if at the level of the extortion that the media is claiming and harassment that the media is claiming, the people are still nonchalant. They still come out to dump their waste at the media. Then if we don't have the task force that is harassing them and extorting them, what will happen?
But there is the question that where would they dump? Because, I mean, for instance, where I am, I don't think there is any receptacle around. So where would the people dump their refuse? And there is that question.
If you tell me your area, I can locate your receptacle and call you on phone to tell you this is where the receptacle is.
Okay.
What is just happening is nonchalant attitude, and then secondly, people being in a hurry to do what they want to do. You want to go to work, you just look around, there's nobody, say, let me dump it at this media, and they will pick it. You know.
All right. Now, Prince, I have a commercial. Let me pause you. I have a commercial. After the commercial, please.
Erisco tomato paste. Mama B, this your food dey restrict airflow. It dey totori me. The aroma just dey.
I'm Kalada. And with me on the show is Prince Ohia, who is special advisor to the governor of River State on environmental issues, and also Solar Trade Rewama is the VMC. I just went for a break. You were saying that you can't the reticle in my area if I were to mention. So I surround the Rumo Sea area. If I were to throw away my refuse, where am I supposed to go?
Rumo Sea area.
Yes.
Rumo Sea area.
Along the east road, that's right, along the east road.
Rumo Sea area is almost at the corner of them before you get Malaria. The wall of that circle is in this book, which you intend to see how strengthened up, but there is a called the thought at Lakaya before you get into Lakaya.
Okay.
But another thing that is the sector. Also, who means owners of the land should be helped to volunteer.
Okay.
They should be helped to volunteer, especially when communities.
Okay.
So
okay. You mentioned that it is behavior of people, the variety of people in River State is, crossing the leafing to sensitize people. Now, I would give you examples. In River State, we used to have a very River State. People, like I said, will put their refuse in front of their house, and the truck will door to door, which saying that you said will meet people. Coming to cross Calabar to the side when Donald was governor, and nobody had mind to throw as a shea water wrap on the floor, urinating. And it's because at the time the people were sensitized to think in a particular direction, keep Calabar clean. Is that something we can replicate in River State? I mean, what are we doing to sensitize Rivers people? Because if you go to what's it called, Oyibo now, just towards that place where the police station is, you would see refuse dump. And it's so crazy to see. If you also go to some of the markets, those places are dirty as well. So my question to you is, can we begin to sensitize Rivers people, since you say it is the behavioral pattern of some Rivers people while you're driving, and they were like, who is this person? So what are we doing to sensitize Rivers people?
Okay, thank you. Let me start with the Oyibo example. For me, what is happening in Oyibo and some other local government like Onelga and some other few local governments is what I would describe as sabotage.
Okay.
Government is a continuum.
Yeah.
If you feel that your tenure, your government is coming to an end, it's not an excuse for you to withdraw the essential services that you give to the people.
Okay.
The people is paramount and must remain paramount. But you know what these local government chairmen are doing in their antics? They withdraw the services that they're supposed to give to these people because they want to see how they can create apprehension in the minds of the people and make the people hate the governor of the state for not releasing funds to them. But that is a story for another day because they have failed in that they are evil antics.
Okay.
But again, let us go to the crux of the matter. You said, what are we doing to ensure that we sensitize people and create a replica of what we have in Calabar, in Rivers State? Calabar, you are a radio personality. I want to first and foremost throw this back to you because I expect that the media will take this as paramount in their corporate social responsibility.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I can answer you right away. We do have.
No, don't answer me.
I should answer. Okay.
When I'm done.
Okay.
When I said the media, I didn't say Canada. Neither did I say Nigeria Info. I expect all the media. I expect all the media to take it as one of the paramount issues that they must take in their corporate social responsibility. And I don't think the media is doing enough.
Okay.
I want the media to come all out to partner with River State Waste Management Agency in trying to sensitize the people. We are paying enough. We are paying a lot of money. We have partnership arrangements with Wazobia, Family Love, and about 4 other radio stations, which by virtue of that, we have jingles going on trying to sensitize the people. But again, we believe that some of the persons might not even be listening to radio. We have the sanitation marshals led by Sodin. They go from one point to the other with vehicles, sensitizing the people, talking to the people. We have on our social media platform, we try to sensitize the people, talk to the people, and conscientize the people. But just unfortunately, the thing is becoming a going concern. And I think all hands must be on deck. All hands must be on deck because the Rwama, as it were, as it stands now, as I speak to you, we want to activate inspection teams. And these inspection teams will begin to move from one organization to the other, from one private organization to the other, from one NGO to the other, from one government organization to the other. We want to know, we want to trace, we want to track the waste of all organizations. Let's know how you manage your waste. From the cradle to the grave, we want to know how you manage your waste. We want to know who evacuates your waste. We want to know where the evacuator dumps the waste. These are very salient issues that we must activate to solve the problem in totality. As I speak to you, in Rwama, we have activated the mobile court. And the mobile court sits every Thursday. By virtue of this, anybody that's arrested as an offender, we face the law. We have the enforcement team going from here to there, trying to arrest people, trying to conscientize people, trying to correct people. At the end of the day, sometimes the media turn into harassment. What did you do that you are being harassed? If you know the policy, you know the rules and regulations, you know the laws of the land, why will you violate the law and begin to complain against the media that you are being harassed, you are being extorted? So many arrest cases that have been brought to my attention. By the time I interview the people, hey, sorry sir, I actually did it. Why did you do it? You did it and you are complaining of extortion. So I think this is a time that the media will really have to collaborate with River State Waste Management Agency to see how we can up our game in all these things that I have enumerated that we're already doing. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to what the offenses are. you can only dump your refuse at receptacles positioned all across the state. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's also a time for which you can dump your refuse. You said what time to what time again?
6 p.m. to 10 p.m. is the evacuation point.
Okay.
It is prohibited to dump the waste anywhere that is not a government-approved receptacle.
Okay.
It is prohibited for private service providers to evacuate waste and go and dump in a waste dump that is not approved by government, neither is it properly managed.
Okay, so some people are arguing that the receptacles of, like, now the one you mentioned in Rumusi, it means that it would have to cover people all the way from the Obirikwere flyover up until that place near Alakaya. Some people are saying it's quite a distance. How are those people supposed to dispose of their refuse?
Can I come in?
Yeah, I'm asking.
In a serene society,
Yeah.
the polluter pays for his pollution.
Okay.
In a serene society, even in Lagos State, you pay for disposing your waste.
Okay.
But this is waste management that is free of charge from government. Mr. Canada, the government spends almost or above $500 million every month in helping in rendering the social service of waste evacuation. If the state government can spend up to $500 million to evacuate your waste, and the only thing it takes you is to move from your point to a receptacle that you may just spend maybe 100 naira, and you complain, what do you expect the government now to do? Or do you expect the government to turn to the policy of the polluter pays? Because that is what the law says. What the law 2013 that established Rwanda State is that the polluter must pay for his pollution.
Okay.
But the River State government in her magnanimity is rendering this as a social service, considering the economic hardship on the people. For me, I will appeal and plead with the people that the distance is not too much.
Okay.
Some of these people that are even complaining, they have vehicles. If you accumulate your waste from Monday to Friday, you can use Friday once in a week to go and evacuate. Tag it properly, go there, evacuate it, so that government can come and collect them.
Okay. Okay. I'm forced to ask this question. You said the government spends $500 million naira on waste management every month. Is this only for Port Harcourt, Obiakpo, or for the 23 local government areas?
Mr. Canada.
Yeah.
River State Waste Management Agency is majorly budgeted for Port Harcourt City and Obiakpo.
Okay.
And we have over 80-something service providers.
Okay.
Apart from service providers, we have over 50-something sweepers. Apart from the sweepers, we have several, you can go to the dump site. We have several equipment at the dump site. If the dump site is not properly managed, then what you will see is that there won't be sufficient places to evacuate the waste. Mr. Canada, the state government is spending enormous money in Port Harcourt City and there will be a local government in waste evacuation.
Sanitation. I mean, because I feel like sanitation would help. You've said that, we need to partner with the River State government in terms of waste disposal and environmental issues. And I believe when you said you were talking about Rivers people. Sanitation, back then again, the old order. Even when we came into democracy in 1999, we had sanitation every, one Saturday. It could be the first, it could be the last, I can't remember now, but we used to have sanitation up until Amechi's time as governor. And I think for about 6-7 years of Wike's time as governor, there was one interruption or the other to sanitation in Rivers State. Now, I also would remember that not everybody at a time would, go around cleaning up their environment. Some would be playing football on the streets. I remember vividly because I, once again, grew up in River State. But are we going to see a return of sanitation? We even heard the story, that the governor, His Excellency Siminalayi Fubara, would bring about the return of sanitation. But it's not looking like it thus far. Is it something we need, or we don't need to set aside a day to clean, to be sanitized as a people? First of all, remember I've just not long ago asked you about the mentality of Rivers people as it relates to cleanliness and sanitation. Do we need the day once every month, a Saturday or not? Do we need to do that? I'm asking, please.
Okay, Environmental Sanitation Day is doable. Is doable as practiced in some states. But also remember that some other states have some litigation against environmental sanitation based on human rights grounds. Freedom of movement, freedom of this, freedom of that. And when that time comes, I know the media might want to align more with those that are asking for human rights than the government that wants to ensure that we return back to the government Garden City status. But again, that is at the discretion of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Rivers State. I know that the governor has a listening ear. He's very reliant on the pulsation, the heartbeat of the people that he is governing. If in his wisdom he decides to restore back environmental sanitation, it's good. But again, let me tell you, Mr. Kalada, for me, I think that this thing is a thing of character. And what is character? Character is that thing you will do when no one is looking at you. We want to instill discipline in the minds of the people. We want the people to be environmentally health conscious. We want the people to own it, that the environment should be clean. And it is their responsibility and their obligation, not for government to compel the people to go into environmental sanitation before. The government compel people to eat before they know they need to eat. The government compel people to go to hospital before they know that they need to go to hospital. Environmental sanitation is a routine thing. For me, it's a daily thing that everybody should be conscious of. That is the spirit we want to instill and imbibe in the minds of Rivers people and those staying and doing businesses in Rivers State. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now, I've got two more questions so we can take questions from our listeners. One is, you mentioned land reclamation. I don't know if I heard you right. That's one of the theme of this year's Environment Day, World Environment Day. What is being done to reclaim land? Now, I just saw a message where someone was making reference to our morning show called Morning Crossfire. And it was talking about people throwing waste into the river and asking what can be done to stop that. But beyond that, what are we doing to reclaim lands that are being taken away due to environmental issues? We're in the global warming era. What is being done? And also, I want to ask about planting of trees. We've recently experienced how hot the weather can be. Is it something the environmental part of governance in River State is looking, or the environmental sector of governance in River State is looking at, talking about planting trees? Because once again, growing up in River State, I would walk through the township area and there would be trees, sheltering you from the sun. Okay,
let me start with the last. Tree planting for me is very pivotal. Is very, very pivotal. If we must do everything humanly possible to face the challenges of climate change. We must think of tree planting. If we must also have in mind restoring the old glory of Garden City status to River State, we must go into tree planting. It is one of my dreams, and I think it is achievable, it is doable, and if God tarries, we will do everything humanly possible within our reach to go into tree planting and encourage people to do same. Then, for the second, let me most respectfully bring to your notice that there is difference between land reclamation and land restoration.
Okay.
The theme for this year World Environment Day is land restoration.
Okay, restoration.
Not reclamation.
Okay.
The reclamation that we are doing at the dump site is just to claim back the land, just like in the River Act on the pillars that your question is on land restoration. What is River State government doing about land restoration? Land restoration is because of the high level of pollution on our land that are making them no longer suitable for a habitation, no longer suitable for agricultural purposes, no longer suitable for mankind. What are the causes of this damage on our land, pollution on our land? The companies. Majority of the oil companies are less concerned about what they do on our environment. What they are thinking about is how to make money and get away with it. And unfortunately, we have a lot of laws, we have a lot of policies that are supposed to stand them out from doing what they are doing and getting away from it, getting away with it. But unfortunately, the implementation of these laws and these policies have lots of bottlenecks that is not allowing it to go free. But again, I will tell you, here in River State, in less than a distant time, we are going to start inspection of all the IOCs. We want to know what they are doing with their waste, how they are evacuating their waste, how they are recycling their waste, because majority of them don't track their waste to know the end product of their waste. We must have the end product of your waste. We must have the manifest, your waste manifest, waste disposal manifest, so that we can track this waste from the cradle to the grave where it is buried.
All right.
With this, we are going to ensure that we first and foremost prevent more of the land pollution.
All right.
Then for the land restoration, that is beyond my capacity as
Rwama.
special advisor on environmental sanitation. That will be at the level of His Excellency, the Governor of the state.
Okay.
Because for land restoration, you know that it is capital intensive. The IOCs that are involved, that polluted the land at the first instance, will have to come in. The federal government will need to come in, just like the IPRED project. That is the only way that we can restore our land and restore the glory of the land. We also know that one of the major ways that we can restore land is reforestation, because if we keep on reforesting the land, planting trees and ensure that forests that are not matured are allowed to mature, those lands will heal automatically on their own. It is natural.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Now let's take some contribution. This one says, we build our environment and our environment in turn builds us up. The way we take care of our environment speaks volume of us as a person and country. Ezekiel Isaiah with that one. This one says, please ask, can't we go back to swallow bean that we see in, I don't even know what that is, but you said that we see in Port Harcourt in the 1980s during the time Police Commissioner Ohia Kilome as the then governor of Rivers State. What do we mean by swallow bean? I don't know if I was old enough to maybe, do you have an idea of what swallow bean is?
Yes, swallow beans. So I think it's called swallow beans.
Okay.
Those beans were beans that were kept at the places we call receptacles now.
Okay.
Then because of the beans, the receptacles were mania. They were much in the streets so that you can have easy access to the receptacle or where the bin is and you dump your waste. But you remember my last complaint. Immediately we go back to this model. You will end up going to where you place these bins and you will not find them. They will be carted away, stolen, and sold away. Sold off for maybe very cheap, very small money.
All right. Okay.
These are the problems. For us to go back to those bins, meaning we are going to plant security in everywhere we keep the bins.
Okay.
So it becomes it becomes so unfortunate that the only thing we can do for now is to build brick walls as our receptacles.
Okay.
And we cannot build so many brick walls along the street that will also deface the street.
Okay, so let's take some more contributions.
So these are the challenges.
Yeah, let's take some more contributions on WhatsApp. This is Port Harcourt was, but no longer a garden city because of the unplanned development of the city and the influx of all manner of persons who refuse to bag their waste into the state. To return Port Harcourt to its garden city status, Rovama should employ sanitation marshals at every receptacle that will ensure that the waste are properly bagged before dumping them at the waste receptacles. And I do agree. By this, it becomes easy to evacuate even in the event of rainfall. This one says waste management is a shared responsibility between the people and the government. The people have their own share of the responsibility to hold their waste to a point when the waste trucks are available to take the waste. Bringing waste to so-called receptacles to dump and then trucks come to clean them is old school. People should be required to hold their waste and only come out at designated times and pour into the trucks or pour it when the trucks are there, you said?
6 to 10.
Okay. All right. This one says, good evening, Kalada. My greetings to your guests in the studio. So what's the function of public health officers in the state? I asked because growing up, these people were symbols of environmental management. Judge Benedict Nibi. Do you have an answer to that? Can you hear me?
Are you here for me?
Someone was asking you a question, actually. He said, public health officers in the state, what's their function? Because growing up, for him, these people were symbols of environmental management. And that's from Judge Benedict.
Okay, let me come in. The first and second contributors are in line, very properly in line. I thank them so much. Then the last person that is talking about public health workers. Let me tell you, even in Rwama here, I have over 58.
Okay.
I'm sure 58
public health officials. Okay.
Yes, public health workers that are attached to Rwama, and these public health workers move from street to street, talking to people, educating people, and at some point serving them abatement notice when they are found wanting. So the thing is just all about character. It's all about character. We are beginning to lose it.
All right.
And the people will need to restore back that character and that dignity in them. The people must showcase to themselves and the outside world that they are neat people. If not, why would somebody need? In fact, the way you present yourself outside is a proper definition of what you are inside your house.
All right. My time is up, so I would just ask you to say some final words on the environment in Rivers State, and then we say goodbye.
Okay, my final word is to plead with the people of the state and those living and doing businesses in Rivers State.
All right.
Environmental issue is an issue of all of us.
Okay.
All of us.
All right. I've got to go.
Environment?
I've got to go. But thank you very much, Prince Ohia. Thank you for your time, and I do appreciate.
All right. Thank you so much.
Oh, Janet, what are you buying there?
It's oil for cooking.
Unbranded oil in a bottle?
It's something affordable and it works just fine for me.